Share hope, joy, and peace this Christmas with gifts that matter. Explore the award-winning Explore Bible for Kids. Discover dyslexia-friendly Grace Bibles and browse beautiful CSBs in the Holman Gift Guide. Celebrate the season by giving the gift that inspires and uplifts, a book that changes lives.
Well, good day to you, tiny theologian. Mr. Wiseman here. And oh my, what a joy it is to be with you on day 7 of our Jesse Tree journey. Now, I've seen a lot in my day, rainy days and sunny ones too, joys and sorrows. And today's story, well, it's got a little bit of both. So go ahead now and fetch your day 7 card and your coat ornament, the one with all those bright, beautiful colors. You got it? All righty then, let's begin. Now today we're learning about a young man named Joseph. The Bible tells us he was dearly loved by his father Jacob, so much that Jacob gave him a fancy, colorful coat. Oh, I reckon it was a real sight to see. But that coat made Joseph's brothers mighty jealous. They didn't like all the attention he got, and that jealousy grew and grew, till one day they sold him into slavery. Good golly gracious, that's some serious family trouble. But, tiny theologian, don't miss this. Even though Joseph was hurt and mistreated, God was still with him. And God was working through it all for something bigger than Joseph could even see. Let me read what Joseph says many years later, after all the trouble was behind him. It's from Genesis 50, verse 20. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Well, I reckon that's one of the wisest things ever said. You see, God didn't just rescue Joseph. He used Joseph to rescue others. When there was a great famine, Joseph had been put in just the right place to help people survive. And that, my friends, is what we call providence. God working everything together for good. In this story, it's a great big arrow pointing us to someone even greater, Jesus. Let me read your Jesse Tree card for today. It says, the coat ornament reminds us of Joseph, the son dearly loved by his father, who was betrayed by his brothers and sold into slavery. But God used Joseph's suffering to save many lives during a famine. In this way, Joseph's story points us to Jesus, who was also rejected, betrayed, and suffered so that we could be saved. Joseph forgave his brothers, just as Jesus forgives us and welcomes us into his family. Now, ain't that the gospel wrapped up in a coat of many colors? Tiny theologian, go ahead and hang that ornament on your Jesse tree. And as you do, remember this. God can bring good out of even the hardest things. Now then, let's read today's family question together. It says, can you think of a way that God has brought something good out of something hard in your life? Well now, that's a question worth sitting with a while. I've lived long enough to know that God often shows up in our hardest moments to bring hope and healing, bringing something we never expected. What about you? Take a little time to think or talk about it with your family. All right, tiny theologian, that wraps up our time for day 7. But I hope you'll be back tomorrow because there's a story coming up about a burning bush and someone who met God face to flame. Until then, remember, Jesus was rejected just like Joseph, but he forgives and welcomes us into God's family. Now, that's a promise worth hanging on to. See you next time, kiddos.
Tiny Theologians, TJ and Tori will be back after Advent for more neighborhood adventures. And when they do, they're going to be sharing a newsletter just for you. If you want to learn and grow alongside TJ and Tori, ask a parent to sign you up to get TJ and Tori's adventure log once a month in the inbox of your choice. You can sign up in the show notes. Be sure to use the code ADVENTURE10 at tinytheologians.shop for an extra 10% off your next Tiny Theologians purchase.